Please listen carefully.
Hi, this is Paul Frields.
And I'm Dave Guzman.
And we would like to welcome you back to Season 2 of Practical Bass. This is a podcast where we take apart a topic of interest to you, the working bass player, and we look at it from both our experience and from information that we have picked up from other bassists and other experts, and try and combine that and give you something that's going to help you take your gear and your gigs to the next level. We have done an entire season of these podcasts already. If you have missed out on them, you can visit the website at practicalbass.com, or you can find us on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts, on Google Play through their podcasts links, or on Stitcher Radio, or just about any RSS podcatching feed. Just look for Practical Bass and you'll find our black and white logo, and that will allow you to subscribe to the show. You'll find our entire past year of episodes on the website. You can also listen online at any time. Just visit practicalbass.com and check the episodes link, and you'll be able to listen to any of our past episodes. I think we did something like 38 or 39 episodes last year.
It was up there.
Yeah. And so this episode is kind of our return to the air for season 2. When we finished last year around Thanksgiving, I think it was, somewhat without a plan. Like, I think we knew we were going to keep going, but we weren't sure how or when that was going to happen.
Right. We tabled that.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely did. And we needed the time, right?
Yeah.
But so this is really our teaser episode for season 2. And, we'll spend a little bit of time talking about some of the topics that we're going to tackle. I think it's important to point out that, we've got quite a good season mapped out in terms of topics.
We do.
But we also have some openings available to talk about things that are near and dear to our listeners' heart. All 5 of you who are out there. No, I'm kidding. Actually, we do get some stats reported, and so I know for a fact that we actually are building up a pretty decent listener base out there. And we love to get feedback, right? Email, comments, or whatever to help point us to topics that you guys think are interesting out there. And I say you guys, I really should say like you folks, because of course we are a completely inclusive community of bass players. So guys, girls, gender fluid, whatever, we're cool. Yeah.
You peoples.
People of all walks of life. If you're interested in bass, even if you're not a bass player, we cover some topics that are kind of interesting, I think, for people who aren't bassists.
Yeah.
Or maybe you want to get inside the mind of a bassist.
Right. It's a scary place.
Yeah. A bassist like Dave.
Well, it's a cool place. I mean, it's pretty cool. Yeah. And scary. It's cool and scary.
My mind is not cool or scary. It's kind of filled with like nap time and cookies and teddy bears.
Good feelings and bass lines.
It's just groovy. It's just groovy. There's a lot of colors going on, and it's just very groovy in my mind.
Mine's like the end of the world.
And I'm only on my first beer, so, and it's already groovy. I should mention that we are powered tonight by Strange Ways Brewing here in Fredericksburg. We do not receive any money endorsements from anybody. We just like their beer, and more often than not, I bring it to our sessions.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for us.
It's good. I've walked in there many a time, and they're like, "Hey, how are you doing?" I'm like, "Great. Hey, I'm recording a podcast tonight." And they're like, "Oh, cool." I'm like, "Yeah, we drink and we record. It works out great."
Yeah.
Especially, well,
when you walk in, are they like, "Is it podcast time?"
Right. Yeah. They've started to do that now. The people who know me, they're like, "Oh, are you podcasting again yet?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Well, here, have a growler."
Or are they like, "Man, you podcast a lot." Like,
yeah.
Well,
I'm kind of known for that. Oh man. Yeah. So we're kind of shooting the breeze on this episode. You know, truth be told, Dave and I decided to just, get on the mic and, talk to you guys a little bit. We're not dropping any real base knowledge at this point. So, right now I hear the sound of like hundreds of like click, like that's people turning off. Yeah. But we did want to describe, what we're going to be doing, over the course of the season. We do have a bunch of really cool episodes planned.
Yeah.
And we have a bunch of topics picked out. But again, we are open to the feedback. And if there's something that you want us to cover, we would love to do that.
Yeah. We originally started this whole project with just a long list of ideas on different topics that we could cover. And we're still drilling through them. And one thing that's cool is that we keep adding to that list, and a lot of it comes from you all, from our listeners. So that list continues to grow.
Yeah.
And
we did build it up.
Yeah. And we spent time also coming up with some new topics, some different areas, or maybe deepening into some other areas that we talked about in our last season. So I think there's some good stuff in there, but it also, just as Paul said, like it opens it up for anyone that really wants to, if you've got a good topic in mind, give a holler, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a couple ways you can do that, right? You can get in touch with us easily on our Facebook community. We have a Facebook group called Practical Base Group, and you're welcome to join that. And you can talk to us through that. I know Facebook right now is they're having some hard times. I think people are, kind of catching on to the fact that, this service is, it's free, but kind of you're the product in a way.
Right.
And some of us, we accept that and we take that for what it is. If you're not on Facebook for some reason, if you're on other socials, you can tweet at us. We are at Practical Base on Twitter. You can get to us there. You can find us on Instagram, but that's really not as great a communication medium. But here's the great thing. If none of those work for you for some reason, you can just visit our website at practicalbase.com, and there is a feedback section. So you click that link and you can send some email, and that goes straight to me and Dave. Like we get that almost instantaneously. Now, we may not be able to respond instantaneously because, there's a lot going on in, our own lives. I'm sure like everybody out there also is very busy. But we do read everything that we get and we do try to respond. We actually figured out, I think last season, there was some glitch in the mail setup that we had. And I think we managed to get that taken care of. So your email is getting to us, and our email should be getting to you as well. And we would really, really invite you to chime in with some topics. What are some of the topics that we're going to do this season, Dave? Because I know we have this list prepared.
We do. Actually, one of the ones we're going to hit is a little off color for bass. It's the bass synth.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I am really looking forward to that episode, and I know that's something that's going to be coming, directly out of your, recent / current experience.
Possible. It's a teaser, so it's possible.
Yeah,
but don't tell my wife.
Yeah. No, I'm not spilling no beans.
Yeah, no beans.
No beans will be spilled.
I'm just borrowing something.
Right.
It's not a new instrument.
Exactly, because that would not. Yeah, that would not be okay.
No.
Yeah, there's no new instrument.
Nothing new. And business as usual.
Yeah, and all of you guys listening, you're also you can back us up on that.
We have a we can't mention names because it's incriminating, but we have a friend who likes to buy guitars.
Yeah.
And he only gets sunburst guitars so that his wife never finds out that there's a new guitar. He's had the same guitar for 20 years.
That, as far as she knows.
Right.
Right.
But it's like every 2 months there's a new one.
Those of us who are keen to look at the names on the headstocks, like, we kind of know what's going on.
The body styles.
Yeah.
And,
But,
other
if you're not into them, like, how would you know? You're like, oh, it's
sunburst.
brown and red and kind of a yellowish. Okay, it's pretty.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's the same.
It has 6 strings. Like,
It's actually really good advice. I mean, if you're not trying to be honest about what you
or,
buy.
Yeah, I mean,
if
or
you're a gearhead.
it's keeping it fresh. Keeping it fresh. So yeah, that's going to be a really cool episode.
Yep.
One of the ones that I'm looking forward to is to talk about hearing protection. Something I feel very strongly about, especially in my, as I'm getting older, and, want to get some information out there, information I wish that I'd had,
Yeah.
When I was younger.
I had an earache today.
Oh, did you?
And every time I get an earache, I'm like, that's it. This is it. This is the beginning of the end. No, it's just an earache.
Oh my gosh, you're very doom and gloom
Doom
about
and
it.
gloom,
Like
yeah.
immediately, it's like, this is the end.
That's it. It's
You're
been
like,
good.
Next
It's been
step.
fun. I start like writing memoirs of my experience with music. Like, it was great. I really, really liked it. I'm going to write a song.
You already started like the first 3 chapters just because the end is coming. Like, next step, Ludwig van Beethoven. Like, right away, you're like, yeah, I'm going to be composing. Tomorrow, I'm going to be deaf and,
There it is.
composing. Because, that can be done. That's what's great about it.
One of the ones that I'm excited about is it's a possibility that we did an episode on compressors, and we actually got a lot of feedback, and it's one of the ones that I know Paul heard from, and I heard from other folks as well. And it's one of those topics that I think you can continue to go deeper into, and we're considering exploring that topic a little bit further. And just adding, just some different pieces to it that really help, because still, even with all the great information out of that, there's always that, do you hear it?
Right.
Do you hear it now? Like, does it make sense?
Right. I mean, I think, we have some ideas, I think, to sort of zero in on, giving you guys some examples. Like, you'll actually be able to hear some cool examples of what different settings and styles of compression do. You'll be able to listen to it on, high fidelity headphones and actually hear what we're talking about. I think we're going to try and do some of that.
By the way, we're giving a teaser to additional technology being introduced into this podcast.
New capabilities are coming all the time here.
Sound effect. I don't know. I hear a sound effect. There's one in there.
That'll be added in post.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys just heard. It was us sitting here in silence, expecting that future us is going to do something funny. And put that in there and we'll find out what happens. I don't know what it's going to be.
I hope it lives up to it.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, now we've oversold it, so there's no way that was that funny.
All right.
But anyway, I mean, we're gonna talk about other things too. Professional habits. Like, we're gonna talk about setting goals, and something that in professional life is so important, and you don't see a lot of musicians doing it. And so we're going to talk about the importance of that.
Yep.
And plus some business. I think some business sided stuff. Dave, you had kind of a near and dear topic when it comes to the money side that kind of hit you as something important over our break.
Yeah, just recently we had to do the old Uncle Sam taxes situation.
Yeah.
Got a tax advisor. Guess what? Mind blown. Mind blown.
Yep.
So we're gonna tiptoe around that topic.
Yeah, absolutely. Being non-tax professionals, we'll
I already hired an attorney. There's going to be like legal disclosures every 10 seconds.
Someone will literally be sitting here in the studio leaning in and saying, no, you can't say that. Well, can we say that? No, you can't say that either. You'll literally be there with a clipboard like,
that's a write-off. That is not a write-off. But if you do this, that's a write-off. Also, that is not a write-off.
Not a write-off.
May possibly in one may possibly. Or may not.
Or could land you in jail, sir.
Could land you in
It
jail.
could land you in jail. By the episode will end up when we cut it with all the legal advice, all the legal things. It'll go immediately from the intro to like the outro.
There's gonna be words cut out, so it'll have like and it, but the,
and then the end. Like you'll hear the end, the song at the end. That's it. The podcast will be like 2.4 minutes long.
It's gonna be a mix. It'll be a piece of art.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but we will try and, in all seriousness, we will try and maybe pass on some practical advice about that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some specific bass players. And also, here's something interesting. I think we realize there's a whole slice of maybe, I don't know what you would call it, musician life that we really haven't talked about, and that is projects, right? Like just setting up projects for yourself in different ways. And I don't mean necessarily like a project as being like, oh, a band or or a recording, although those might be included. But I think we're talking about like the larger scope of like projects at home, right? How do you set up spaces or sound deadening spaces, things like that.
Yep. All the things that as musicians, like we think about, wow, I should cut time out to do X, Y, Z. We'll try to, figure out what those X, Y, Zs are and how to approach them or our experiences with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And, I think, one final thing that we're really looking forward to, and we're saying it here. We have these things are on the way, but we are going to try and be including some interviews this season with other people. So if you've had your fill of me and Dave at this point, we're going to end up having some other voices on the show.
That's right.
People who can kind of share their practical experience as bass players, and these are not unknown folks. I mean, these are people who are like experts. And I think for the most part, we're talking about bass players, but we're also going to have some other people, maybe some unexpected guests who are going to be talking about some of the topics that we cover for you as a semi-professional or as a professional, right? As somebody who is looking to get paid and get good gigs and take your gigs to the next level. These people are all going to have like accessible knowledge in some way that's going to help you.
Yep.
Including, some of these folks are nationally or world renowned in their field. So, this is not small potatoes here. We've actually rigged up some cool folks. And now that I've committed us to that, right, we know it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. One of them is Dave. Oh, no, wait. I'm already on this one. I'm already here. This is another one. This is a teaser episode.
It is. We haven't given much details. I know that like it would be great if we could just like name drop and stuff here, but the honest truth of it is, we are, when we do a season, we are not mixing things that we spent 4 months researching and recording, and then we mix them and put them out over the summer. This is not NPR, right? We don't have a staff. We don't fly people around the world to do stories. We're not asking for donations, right? None of that stuff happens here at the Practical Bass headquarters.
No, we asked for permission.
Yeah. No, we don't even really do that. No.
Oh, no. Yeah. Wait.
No,
yeah, I think we skipped that part.
We ask for forgiveness.
We ask for forgiveness.
We
That's all we ask for forgiveness.
We're hoping everyone's going to forgive us for this episode, I think.
I was referring to my wife.
Right. We asked our wives permission.
And the listeners. That's
our
right.
listeners, we ask forgiveness. But yeah, it's going to be a really fun season. So we haven't done all these in advance, and then we're here to like kind of slyly wink and nod and say, oh yeah, it's going to be really cool. Like these are things that we're in the process of doing right now. So, there are interviews that we are setting up and that we're hoping are going to go well. And then, they're going to become part of the season. And so we're just asking you guys, I guess, to, hang in there with us and, take the leap of faith. And, more than anything, like share this with your friends who are musicians and bass players.
Yeah. If everybody has an hour-long ride to a gig, throw them a Practical Bass podcast. Let them enjoy the ride. We don't, as musicians, we don't always have to talk in the car for the whole hour.
Right.
We don't have to listen to like who our favorite band is. We know who our favorite bands are.
Yeah.
Throw some Practical Bass.
Yeah, and sit there and enjoy the comfortable silence of having someone else take over for you, and you can
deliver the tough message.
Right. And you can laugh a little, you cry a little, right? I don't know. I don't know if we've ever had a cry-worthy episode. One of these days we'll have to have something that's like an emotional impact. There's been no emotional impact from any of our stories other than possibly like Schadenfreude, like people laughing at us for things that have gone wrong that we talk about. There's that.
Now I'm stuck. I just forgot that we're recording. I'm thinking about a cry-worthy episode.
There is none. There's no cry-worthy. This one, perhaps. Like we're going to get done and we'll be like, it was so bad. Oh. But seriously, I think we've laid out a bit of the landscape here of what we're trying to do this season. It is going to be, we have an arc kind of described for, what we're going to do. And, we're going to carry you through, from the late spring all the way into, towards the holidays. I think our idea here is we're trying to cover basically from May to September this year. And so our plan right now,
this is like a commitment right here.
Yeah,
we're putting it down.
Yeah, we're putting it down. We're trying to get so last year was a little crazy. Like we really didn't have a clue of when to stop or how long we were going to want to do this. And as we went, we loved it. I mean, I don't want to talk for you, Dave. I enjoyed it.
It was pretty good.
You could be like, I hated it.
It was pretty good. It was all right.
It sucked.
No, it was great because we had each other, right? Like it was just you and me, two bassists and a couple of microphones.
Yeah, and some beer.
And some beer. And it's cool because we started to build a community and people started reaching out to us. And to me, it was just like, it was a lot of fun going into it each session.
Yeah, it really was. And, we're not trying to be highfalutin here either. I mean, we putting this together was kind of a labor of love. And, we did, like I said, 38 or 39 episodes last year. And it was I think that was a little bit long. And what we found is we got to the holidays and there were a lot of things happening at that point. And, one of them we're going to talk about in the very next episode, like the first official like kickoff episode, which was a recording project that took up a lot of that time over the winter.
Yep.
But, we wanted to come back and have an idea of how we were going to map this out. And so, I think our commitment right now is we're talking about 22 episodes weekly between May and roughly September. I think that covers basically all month from May through the end of September.
Yep.
So that's whatever that is, 5 full months of Practical Bass.
5 months.
I don't think NPR does that, right? They give you like 10 episodes or 12 or 15 or whatever, and then they're done. And maybe they like recycle old episodes a bunch or videos or whatever, but we're not doing that.
Not us.
22 original episodes we are going to promise you now for this year. And that's our plan.
Can we overdub later if we want to do 21?
We'll come back in here and say 20, and then somebody's already heard it and will like republish the episode, and we'll be like, we didn't say that.
We didn't say that.
They're like, but I heard you Download the episode. We didn't say that. They downloaded it again. Now it says 12 or something. No, we're not going to do that. We're not only are we not that sneaky, we're also, I don't think we're that
clever.
Smart. Yeah. Oh man.
There was that episode where we talked about like bad habits that we had we had to break. That was kind of a base tearjerker. That was a little emotional.
Okay. You're still hurting on this. You want to come back?
I'm there.
You really been thinking
left
about
me.
it.
You left
I went
me.
on, and you decided to come back.
I'm still at the rest stop.
And I'm
like,
down with that. I'm down with that.
That was kind of a toughie. That was like, that one time that I had to fix that in my base life.
Yeah.
Anyways.
No. Same. Yeah. People they can always dig back into that and hear the.
It's there.
Hear the all tears version.
Yeah. We gated out the sniffling.
Yeah.
We gated the sniffles.
Well, yeah, I mean, because no one wants to hear mucus on the radio, or
especially from a bassist. We don't.
Yeah.
We're solid.
We're unfeeling. You know the old joke, right? The old joke about. I mean, you could probably apply it to any musician, but I hear it most often for bass players. Yeah. It's like, what do bass players use for birth control? Their personality.
Oh,
yeah. That's hard.
Oh,
savage.
Man,
that's what my daughter would say.
Savage.
Actually, she would have said that a year and a half ago, which means it's probably not cool anymore.
Do you know what my teenager would say?
I wouldn't know. Like, what's the lingo?
We should do a podcast on teenagers.
Oh my gosh. How do we connect that to bass? I don't know how we connect that to bass, but who knows? We end up scraping the bottom of the barrel for season 6. You never know where we're going to end up with that point. Anyway, so Dave and I missed you guys, and we're happy to be back on the air. We are really looking forward to kicking things off. This, like we said earlier, this episode is sort of a teaser, and in a few weeks we are going to kick off the season in earnest. Like we said, 22 episodes, all new material. And again, although we have ideas and coverage, we would love to hear from all of you who are out there. If there is a topic near and dear to your heart that you would like to see covered here, please do let us know. We love to get mail from you guys. We even, we've covered viewer mail before on the show, and we would love to do it again, especially since we had this like silly little, musical track that, took all of 15 minutes for us to slap together, and we'd love to use it again. So, but do get in contact with us. You can use, again, our Facebook group for that. Another way to get in touch with us easily is go to our website at practicalbass.com. You'll find all sorts of information there about how to subscribe, and you'll also find a feedback form. And if you fill that out, email goes directly to me and Dave, and we'd love to hear from you guys and anything that you want to say, good, bad, or indifferent. And let us know you're out there, because we really do this because not just because we love hanging out, but because we like to spread knowledge, and we like to know there are people out there who care about it. So let us hear from you. And we do hope to hear from you soon. If you want to subscribe to this podcast, you'll find all the details for that also at practicalbass.com. But you're welcome to simply search for the podcast on iTunes or Apple Podcasts on your mobile device, Google Play on your mobile device, or Stitcher Radio on any platform. Just hit search and key in Practical Bass, and you will find our podcast. And if you use the link there, you can subscribe and receive a fresh episode each week delivered right to you. And no muss, no fuss. You simply end up with it in your device, and you can listen to whatever topic we come up with for the next episode, teenager related or not.
All of it.
Yeah, it'll be amazing. So until season 2 begins in just a few weeks, I am Paul Fields.
And I'm Dave Guzman.
And this has been Practical Bass.
Thanks for listening.
That just kicked it off. It's official now.
Wow.
That click was me starting the recording.
That's the beginning.
That is the beginning of season 2. You can't get out of it now. That's it.
I feel stuck.
In for a dime, in for a dollar.